Hi, my name is Pierzchalski and I'm the Executive Director of Comox Valley Project Watershed Society.
Hello, my name is Mackai Sharp. I am a recent high school graduate. I'm a filmmaker, photographer, and kind of like a community advocate person.
My name is Wendy Kotilla, and I've lived in the Comox Valley since 1973. I'm the founder of Youth in Ecological Restoration, in which we take youth out to do environmental work with local groups.
My name is Caila Holbrook. I work with Comox Valley Project Watershed Society. What does stewardship mean to me? Well, I grew up here on the coast of British Columbia, swimming in the ocean and climbing trees and having fun outdoors, and I really loved the world that I lived in. I really appreciated the plants and animals that were there and learned that they're an important part of our life and keeping us living.
I think stewardship is a personal commitment to the care for the landscape that you live in, and I think there's two pieces to that. I think there's an individual component where you take your interests and what you're good at and integrate that in how you care for your landscape, and then I think there's also a huge community component where we look to the Indigenous leadership in our landscape for guidance as to how we can properly manage our landscape.
Primarily now what we're looking at is kind of going back to ways that the land was stewarded prior to colonization, and how those ways were more in tune and more symbiotic with the land, and how, you know, post like industry coming in and post resource extraction, how these like colonial, more capitalist concepts of, you know, our relationship with like ecosystems is actually like extremely devastating. So we need to really, you know, create a new definition for what stewardship means in terms of our relationship with the planet.
Stewardship means caring for the earth, for the land, and for everything that's living in the land. And it goes deeper than that, though. It's about being in relationship with and caring.
There's a lot of things going on in the world today that degrade natural habitats, and I think that's really important to work together to steward it so we have places to play, places that help support us, to grow food, all these parts of our lives that are really important.
Some of the impacts and threats we're facing because of climate change are just so huge that they require full communities and nations to mobilize in order to get the change done that needs to happen in order to actually have tangible impacts towards facing climate change.
Project Watershed does things in a very scientific way, and that's really important because we need good, solid science to document what the places, the earth, and to restore them. And society these days really pays attention to that Western science, and it's a critical piece.
Blue carbon sequestration is just the sequestration, so the taking up of carbon by plants that are in the ocean. So when we talk about our blue carbon projects at Project Watershed, we're talking about eelgrass, salt marsh, and kelp. So these are plants that exist in the marine environment that, as they grow, they take in carbon from the atmosphere, and that takes it out of the global amount of carbon that's available.
I think we as people, as common people who aren't, you know, working high up in the government, need to be like communicating, recognizing our differences, but also coming together on our similarities that we both benefit, both appreciate, and both need to survive our ecosystem, and really speak to the people who can actually do something about it and hold them accountable.
I mean, we're just another creature on the planet, you know? And to not have these places, I couldn't imagine.
So I think in order to get full community support and also different level of government supports, we really need to work together to mobilize in conjunction to make sure that the change that happens is not only a just transition, but also a transition that represents the needs of the community.
Kwakwalakwa is a First Nations stewardship concept that means not that we just maintain our environment, but that we actually make it better. Every time we interact with it, we help it and make it better than it was before we got there. And I think this concept really made an impact on me and our organization, and so Project Watershed has taken on keeping it living as kind of an umbrella idea that we use when we do all of our stewardship activities.
Traditional ecological knowledge is an important piece because First Nations people They carry knowledge of places where they've lived for a long time, like thousands of years.
What can you do to help? There's lots of ways that people can get involved in making the environment a better place and helping restore the ecology of, say, the Comox Valley. Getting involved with Project Watershed is one way to do that.
Well, I think Project Watershed is like a beacon of hope for the Comox Valley. It's amazing. It's amazing, and I see how creative they are. I think that's one thing that people working in climate science need more of is creativity. These new solutions. And I think what Project Watershed is doing, just in contrast to everything else that's been brought forward to the table locally, is just so brilliant. So I look forward to what they continue to do in the future, because I know that they're going to be the face of it.